Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another live Merlin Q&A with two of your favorite Merlin team members, myself being Abs, the man to my right being Mario. And today, we're going to break down a couple of exciting updates as well as the plans that Merlin has coming to fruition. Exciting connections, improvements to the application. We're going to talk about it all throughout today's episode. And Mario, we are going to talk about how people have been using their exit plans heading into this bull run that we're experiencing here in 2025. But first of all, how are you feeling? And thank you for being here.
I am feeling good, Abs. Excited to be back here on another one of these live Q&As. So for anybody that has joined us so far, this is a live Q&A session. So we're going to be going through some aspects of Merlin, some new features and new announcements some of the stuff that we got going on kind of behind the scenes, but definitely is a live Q&A. Drop your questions in the chat and we will be able to address them live. But excited to be here, Abs. Let's get into it.
Some exciting things happening in the crypto market, Mario. Now, obviously, when you look at what typically happens during a bull market, it's rally in July and August, correction in September, final euphoric moment in October, November, December, towards the back end of the year. It's looking like 2025, we're seeing something very similar. Now, I know there's a couple of big differences, regulation being one, Wall Street's excitement about crypto being one, the existence of Bitcoin ETFs, that's another huge difference this time around. But the structure is still the same. And these assets began that rally on November 5th after the election of Donald Trump. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we look at the back end of this year, the October, November timeframe, and the Merlin crypto community is executing on a lot of the exit plans that they've created over these past couple of years, whether it's $5, $6, $8, $10, $12 XRP, $140, $160, $180,000 Bitcoin. There's going to be some massive, exciting amendments coming into this market from a price standpoint. And there's a lot of evidence that leads me to believe that. There's also an interesting update I saw earlier today, Mario, where the United States government came out and said they would be selecting Chainlink to produce on-chain data. Now, there was another amendment that came out after this. They would actually be supporting 9 blockchains in total. And I can give you those names: Stellar, Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Tron, Arbitrum, Polygon, and Optimism. Now, what's so interesting about that is they're going after a large, different array of digital assets, but XRP is obviously not on the list. And the fact that XLM is on that list, but XRP is not, that speaks volumes to what's really going on there. But the reason that I'm even highlighting this at the beginning of the Q&A is it goes to show this journey is starting. It's kicking off. It's beginning here in the summer of 2025, and it's only going to get a lot more exciting towards the back end of this year. But Mario, first of all, what would you love to dive into? And maybe if you have a reaction to that as well.
Well, I definitely have a reaction. Like, one of the exciting things for us here at Merlin is that we're creating a tool that solves a lot of problems when it comes to tracking crypto. And at the same time, we're in an industry that's growing. We're in an industry that's capturing its first moments of adoption. We're in an industry that's capturing its first moments of clarity, especially over in the US. So, all in all, we're going through a transition. Merlin's going through growth. Crypto in general is going through growth. And so it's awesome to be able to be here at this particular time where we're here at Merlin creating a solution that's providing all these new crypto investors with the ability to do something they otherwise would not be able to. One is track their crypto in a way where it's really powerful. A lot of the tracking tools, they like customization. They like manual editing. Crypto is a mess, guys. Crypto, the wildness of crypto and the wildness of what can be done in crypto is a complete mess from a tracking perspective. So what the team has done over at Merlin is they've added a lot of abilities for people to be able to fix all those little issues, fix all those glitches, a lot of it themselves without even having to reach out to customer support. So, as the head of customer support, I am super proud to say that we also offer human customer support and the best customer support when it comes to crypto apps. And I would even say when it comes to crypto in general. I mean, what kind of crypto service are you going to sign up to that you get real live humans on a daily basis that will be able to help you set things up, will almost handhold you? So I'm just super proud of the team. Shout out to the entire Merlin customer support team that keeps the users within the app happy on a single every day, basically on a daily basis.
Well, Mario, I guess they would call you the big dog on campus for the Merlin community. And guys, if anybody doesn't know what the Merlin application does, we allow everybody to track your crypto in one location. Doesn't matter if it's on exchange, hot wallet, cold wallet, could be on a MetaMask, could be on a Ledger device, could be in your Coinbase account. We can track everything from one simple location through an API key, so there's no security risk. We do not have access to your cryptocurrencies. We're also compatible with over 12,000 active blockchains. Now, pretty interesting. Mario, one of the things that I find so exciting about where crypto is going right now is that there's a lot of projects that are building real world developments. It's not like a couple of years ago where it was meme coins and it was NFTs and things of that nature. I feel like right now there's a lot of real businesses starting to build inside the blockchain space, and it's happening on the 10 or 15 biggest ecosystems. Now, you know what's really interesting? Earlier today, me and you were talking about that Zach XBT tweet, and he said that Ripple, Hedera, Cardano, they're Ponzi schemes that are built just to profit the founders, essentially. What we're seeing right now with the prices, the developments, and of course, what we're witnessing here from the United States government starting to use these technologies is that we're getting clear indicators this stuff is here to stay. Hedera, Chainlink, Ripple, all these different projects are finding their niche. And I think when all is said and done by the end of 2026, Mario, maybe this market is $10, $12 trillion, but it's not 15, 30,000 coins. It really is just a top 200 coin kind of a market. Similar to how the S&P played out today. When you look at the stock market, most of the opportunity is in the top 10, top 5 projects. I think crypto is headed that direction. There's going to be a big consolidation project. And lucky for us in our community, a lot of people are going to have a chance to sell into that bullish momentum. If you guys have any questions or comments, throw them in the live chat. We'll incorporate them into the episode today. But Mario, I thought it would be kind of valuable to kick it off with some Merlin, and then we'll get into some articles.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Abs. And at the same time, as all of those things are taking place, we're giving people the ability to track everything in one place. Those people that have, it's very normal. If you're just starting in crypto, you're probably going to get started with an exchange. So you might get something like Coinbase, something like an Uphold, Kraken, whatever it ends up being. But very quickly, you're going to realize, oh man, I need to get this other account because the coin that I want to buy is not available on this one. Or I need to get set up with a wallet and go on a DEX because the coin that I want to purchase is not available in the exchange. And very quickly, you're going to find yourself with multiple exchanges, multiple wallets. And then you're going to find yourself having to open all those wallets, maybe have a spreadsheet so you can keep a track of everything that you've got going on. And it just becomes messy and it becomes time consuming. And so what we created at Merlin is the ability for you to connect all of those wallets, all of the exchanges, and see everything in one place, one dashboard. It even, in my opinion, boosts up your security because now all of a sudden you as an investor, and if anybody's like me, you're checking the crypto market on a daily basis. You're refreshing your portfolio on a second basis. And you're like, oh man, am I moving up? I'm up $5. I'm so happy right now. And so you can't do that. I mean, you can, but you kind of have to do things manually if you're checking the actual exchange or the actual wallet. But then think about this for a second. Are you walking around with your phone that has access to all of your crypto through those exchanges? Well, for me, Abs, I just have Merlin on my phone and I just opened up Merlin. There's absolutely no security risk because Merlin only pulls data as far as transactions and balances from the exchanges and the wallets. It has no ability to do anything. It has no ability to move crypto. It has no ability to buy, sell. So it actually added a layer of security to my life to where now I can still see what my portfolio is doing on a daily basis without having to compromise the security piece. So it's an awesome platform. Obviously, I have to say it's an awesome platform, but it is, and I use it on a daily basis. And I am super excited every time I hear what the team has going on as far as a roadmap, because I'm like, as a user, give that to me now. I need that yesterday. And so we've got so much good stuff to come, Abs. And we could probably just do a quick guide through of Merlin. Just let me know where you want me to go next.
Mario, I think it's important that people understand the profit plan or the exit plan, whatever you'd like to call it, and however people decide to execute for this bull market. Now, if you're newer to investing in crypto, I'll explain it like this. The market becomes overvalued and then it becomes undervalued. And we're just playing that cycle to our advantage here with the Merlin application. We talk about people taking a little bit of profit as these assets go up so you can hedge yourself for a bear market. Anybody who's been here for multiple crypto cycles knows it goes like this. Sideways trading for several years, massive euphoric breakout over 12 months, and then a bear market 80% recession after that. That is how it's played out in the past. Now, obviously, times can change. Maybe this time is different. And there's a lot of evidence that would point to the fact that this time is slightly different than both 2017 and 2021. But when I look at what's happening from a overvalued versus undervalued standpoint, I think the premise still applies. I think that there's still going to be an overhyped, over speculative market towards the end of this year because all this new money is going to come in. People are going to get overly excited. Retail investors are going to hit this market in a way that we've never seen before. And then the rug will be pulled at that final moment. And so with that being said, that's why we go over a profit plan to set our listeners up for success. But Mario, let's run through an XRP one just for the fun of it.
Let's do it. Let me just get rid of this one that we have on here now so we can start fresh. And clicked on the asset. We can now do set an exit strategy. And let's get started. You want me to kind of go through it, or do you want to tell me?
I do.
You're really good at this.
We'll go back and forth with it. But I do want to remind people, this is a live Q&A. If you have any questions, any comments, throw them in the live chat. We did get a question right here. How many wallets can you track at once? I have 3 main wallets and 2 cold wallets. Can Merlin track them all? Mario, you know the answer. Floor is yours.
You can track them all. I personally have a whole bunch more than that. I have talked to a lot of our users that have even more than I do. So I don't even think, I mean, I know that we have some sort of limit, but it takes a lot for you to be able to hit it. So absolutely, you can do 5. You can definitely do 20, and I think even 30. So you're all clear there.
30 wallets. Looks like I'm going to need multiple accounts here, Mario. Now, of course, I'm just kidding, guys. But let's go through the exit plan. We got about 30,000 tokens sitting in this account. High average buy, $2.43. Anybody who's watching, I'd love to hear. Do you think that's a high price or a low price for XRP? Mario, let's have fun. So we'll sell 70% and we'll hold 30%. TT says, thank you. You're welcome. Massive shout out to Mario, of course. And hopefully you enjoy all the features that we're showing you now. Mario, let's go with 20% at our first target, and we'll do a price of $12. We're going to do a second price, 35%, and this will be $26. And then we'll do 35 more percent, and we'll have a $44 target. And our final one, 10%, and that would be 50.89 or 58.9.
58.9. I see where you're going.
Real subtle.
You're one of the riddlers, huh?
So pretty much, guys, you can tell exactly what that's going to give you. Now, this is an execution on an exit plan with 70% of 30,000 tokens, which is 20,650. And that gives us, if we execute the entire plan here, nearly $700,000 with an estimated tax bill of about $140,000. So pretty great, very simple feature. Anybody can use this to their advantage. And the biggest thing that this allows you to do, guys, it removes the emotion of the bull market. Most investors have no idea what they're going to do when we go to $12, when we go to $20, when we go to $50. This sets you up for success. You know exactly what you're going to do. Mario, any comments there?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll just give a quick explainer into some of the things that we did here in the exit strategy and give people some more insight about the customization of it and how much you can do with it. So Abs did like I always say this, Abs, you only need 2 pieces of information to create this exit strategy, because everything else Merlin's telling you. So if you have XRP in multiple different places, which this demo account definitely has, then it's going to aggregate everything and it's going to show you your total. So all of a sudden, if you have a long-term hold on a cold wallet, and then you have, some number of it in a different wallet because you kind of keep it there for spending or for, DeFi activity, and then you have some more on an exchange, you can aggregate all of it and then see your total number of coins. It also calculates your average price. So now you know exactly how much you paid on average for each XRP that you have in your accounts. And then the 2 pieces of information that you need to know and that you need to tell Merlin is just how much of your total do you want to sell versus hold. And actually, you only need to put the sell part because it auto-fills the hold, obviously. And then you need to put the exit targets. So this is really the fun part, because you can play around with these numbers. And we've got resources if you're a Merlin user and you're not quite sure of what to do here, or if you're not a Merlin user and you sign up for Merlin, we've got resources that basically help you and guide you, give you ways in order for you to come up with exit targets. And then you just put the percentage and the price that you're willing to sell at. All the rest of the information, the rest of all the information is provided to you here by Merlin. And we even go as far as giving you an estimation of what you could be liable for taxes. And obviously this is based on a percentage that you put it into your profile settings. So you kind of have to be aware of what your tax exposure is. And obviously there's long-term, short-term. And so that's why we call this an estimation. But I mean, Abs, chances are it could stop being an estimation. Let me just put it this way. Chances are the team is probably doing something in the background that sometime in the future, this will no longer be an estimation and it will actually be an accurate thing. I'll just leave it at that. But creating an exit strategy, super easy. You only need to tell Merlin 2 things. Everything else it calculates for you. And then the fun part, it sends you those alerts when it's time to sell.
And I think what's great about this, Mario, is that depending on the size of your portfolio, Merlin's going to help you make thousands of dollars, right? And the low cost of an app like this per month, I think it pays off in volumes over the long run. What we're going to do is we're going to continue to provide new features, new onsets, new ways for our listeners to profit here using the Merlin application. And that's what Mario was pretty much hinting at in the background. We're real subtle over here, Mario, but there's some exciting updates I'd love to take you guys through in regards to some of the news that we've seen this morning. Now, again, I briefly touched upon this earlier in the episode. We got a big update out of Howard Lutnick, and here's what it has to say. The U.S. Commerce Department has published a Q2 GDP data on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Tron, Stellar, Avalanche, Arbitrum, Polygon, Optimism with distribution via Pyth and Chainlink. Now, obviously, my response was no XRP question mark. I put that out about an hour ago, already has nearly 100,000 views. So there's a lot of people who feel the same way. And here's what's interesting. There is a Ripple and XRP connection, but I think the more important point, this is the US government stepping in. This is step one of a very long journey of integrating blockchain tech into the United States government, whether it's ownership, whether it's voting rights, whether it's things like this, publishing data, immutable data, right? Meaning it can't ever be changed. This is a huge structural change we're seeing out of the United States government. And I'm pretty excited to see it start under the Trump administration. A lot of people thought this should have happened 3-4 years ago. It's great to see us take a step in that direction right now. Mario, what are some of your thoughts here?
Well, it's great to see that they're fulfilling the promise. They're fulfilling the promise that they wanted to take a completely different approach towards crypto and blockchain. They're fulfilling the promise that they want to favor US-based cryptocurrencies and US-based projects. So the more that this current administration and the more that the government can play a part at setting an example, the better it's going to be for crypto. So it's definitely good. I do have the same question as far as why not XRP, but nonetheless, I think that there's been enough connections, enough involvement, Merlin conversations aside. I do think that there's been enough connections with the Merlin team. I'm sorry, with the Ripple team, with the current administration, for us to not think that there isn't something that, the government's not necessarily deliberately leaving XRP out in this case. So we'll see what happens, but great developments, and it just kind of shows you where this industry is about to go in the near future, which is a completely different approach. And obviously Merlin, as a crypto-centric application, we're also equally excited because we understand that the more people come into this space, the more they're going to need a tool. And the features that we have currently, they're already revolutionizing the way people can track their crypto and have strategies. But the features that we have coming, I mean, it's going to be even more of a game changer. So this is the worst version of Merlin you're ever going to see. And, the things that we got coming, it's just exciting. And to know that we're doing this at a time where crypto is getting that mainstream adoption is also super important.
Quick reminder, guys, this is a live Q&A. Any questions you have in regards to Merlin, throw them in the chat. Any comments you may have, also throw them in the chat. Now, Mario, just to kind of close out that conversation here, this is what Vet had to say. It's a matter of availability, actually. They distributed it via Pyth and Chainlink. Both of these services are not publishing data on the XRP ledger yet. It's not that deep. So essentially, Pyth and Chainlink aren't compatible to share this data onto the XRP ledger. Take that for what you will. I'll dive into it later on Good Evening Crypto if anybody wants to check it out. But Mario, what's really exciting to me is that all of these blockchains are essentially getting acknowledged. AVAX, Chainlink, the other ones are slipping my mind. Ethereum, Tron Network, Stellar, these projects that they've been in the top 10, but having the United States government give us that validation, that's a brand new detail. So I think it's a massive signal to the rest of the industry. And when you look at why we have the Merlin application, The whole purpose is we believe in the growth of digital assets. We think that these assets are going to rise in price, and we want people to take advantage of that while it exists here. What are some of your thoughts in regards to that?
Well, first of all, Abs, are you telling me you don't remember the names of all the other 10,000 cryptos out there? I
Let me
mean,
go through them one by one. Polygon,
right?
Litecoin, Ondo. I'm just kidding.
Oh no, he mentioned Litecoin. I'm just kidding. Shout out to the Litecoin community. But look, Abs, like one of the things that we've seen over the past few months is the talk of everything apps, right? These and we saw it primarily with X a couple years ago when Elon purchased it. His one of the main idea behind acquiring Twitter was to turn Twitter into his plan of having an everything app. But recently we've seen crypto exchanges also move towards the same direction. We've seen Coinbase rebrand their Coinbase wallet to Base and incorporating a lot of mechanisms into it, like being able to do payments, like being able to as a creator. So they're going to have a social media component to it that as a creator you can earn, and people can tip you in crypto and all that fun stuff. And so we're transitioning into this everything app type of environment. And at Merlin, I'm excited to say that so are we. We want to create the only app that you need in crypto as an investor / portfolio tracking type of service. And so we already have a lot of different things that you as an investor and that you as somebody that keeps track of your portfolio that you need to have and that you want to check on a daily basis, like having the ability to check the markets. And you can see all the different 10,000 cryptos that are available out there. Obviously, you could go down the list. You could also search. But, the assets page that shows you the overview of your entire portfolio and how and how each asset is doing. And are you in profit? Are you not in profit? Key insights into all of the different aspects of your portfolio. But then recently, a couple months ago, our team also incorporated the news component. So that's another thing too, is you're probably going to all these different sources for news, and X is a great spot. I personally spend a lot of time on X for news. But inside of Merlin, you can also see news articles from all the reputable sources. So, crypto news, we've also got, all of the other major ones out in here too, but you can see all the different news that are coming out for crypto. And you can even see news tailored specifically to your crypto holdings. So when you click on this your feed option, this is going to filter out so that it only shows you news that are related to the assets that you hold. So again, XRP, if you have XRP on there, or let's say you don't have an asset like Litecoin, you're not going to see Litecoin related news on this one. And so we are on a mission at Merlin to create this app that is the only app you need when it comes to crypto. You're going to be able to do everything when it comes to tracking your portfolio. Now, I don't think there's any plans to become an actual wallet, so we probably won't be able to do that. I can't speak for the team, but as far as an app that you can rely on for data on your investments, I think that Merlin's on track to becoming the ultimate best, if not the best already out there.
And that's why we have NFT Tones, the best in the business, guys. If you have any questions or comments, throw them in the live chat. But once again, Mario, what's really interesting as you're looking at the asset prices for today, Ethereum 4,500, XRP $3, Bitcoin 112,000. Now to newer investors, these sound like lower quote unquote prices, but think about where we were last summer. Bitcoin 60 grand, XRP 60 cents, Ethereum 2,400. It's already changed so much. We've seen so much growth in these last 12 months. I would encourage anybody who's getting bored or feels as if the market is too mundane, hang in there, double down on what you understand, remain extremely patient, because what the evidence tells us is we get a bull market and that patience pays off. So be sure to stick in there, guys. Now, we do only have about 5 minutes left in the program for today. If you have any questions or comments, please throw them in the live chat and we will address them during today's episode as well. But Mario, there's a whole nother narrative going on here, and that's the success of Ethereum. And I kind of addressed that as we and you just spoke, but the XRP community is actually stronger than the Ethereum community. And there's good evidence for this, as when Gemini launched their XRP credit card, it was clear that XRP, the community, helped Gemini surpass the Coinbase app on the Apple App Store. That goes to show how many people are excited and interested about these assets. It's not 5,000 people or 10,000 people. It's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who were excited about this and actually took the initiative to at least download the app. And I'm going to assume a lot of them signed up for the card, right? So what are some of your thoughts about the power of the XRP community, as well as some of these other ones that have strong communities, but just not quite like XRP?
Well, shout out to Gemini and their marketing team, because I correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that may know this data, but I remember being at the Bitcoin conference and Gemini announcing their Bitcoin branded card, their Bitcoin branded credit card. And I do not remember seeing the same amount of hype. I do not remember seeing Gemini go up the ranks of downloaded apps on all the app stores. And when the XRP card was announced, and especially when the XRP card was released, I mean, the Gemini app went up the ranks on the downloads of the App Store, which tells me people were downloading that app and people were signing up to Gemini. And Gemini is making money when that happens because that partnership that they have with MasterCard for the issuance of the card, I'm pretty sure it's bringing in revenue to Gemini. And it also opened the door to people that weren't Gemini users signing up for Gemini just because of the card. Well, guess what? Now they're going to become Gemini users. Now they're going to become users of the platform, being exposed to all of the other things that Gemini is doing there outside of just the card. So, shout out to Gemini, shout out to their marketing team. I think that was genius on their part. And it honestly, like you said, Abs, it showed the strength of the XRP community. Again, I provided the comparison that when the Bitcoin, and this is not to say that the XRP community is stronger than the Bitcoin community. That's not what it is. But it goes to show that when something exciting comes as an XRP product, the XRP users actually jump in and make a difference. And we saw that with Gemini again becoming even higher, becoming the most downloaded app, higher than Coinbase at some point. I don't know what the ranks are today, but I remember seeing it. So shout out again, one last time, shout out to the Gemini community. We need to get our marketing team do something genius like that.
Final article, guys. Ethereum ETF inflows. We saw $307 million into ETH ETFs yesterday. That's 1.8 billion in inflows over the past 5 trading days. Wall Street doubling down. I think this pullback is very short term, and people should be excited about this, as pretty soon we're going to be able to track these same inflows for altcoins. Mario, just a couple of minutes left here. Do you think this is a good sign for heading into the fall?
I mean, it's a good sign that we're getting more attention outside of just Bitcoin. It's a good sign. Look, whenever Ethereum takes the charge and takes the lead on something, whether personally I am a big into Ethereum and not big into Ethereum, it's a great sign for the rest of the market. It's a great sign for the rest of the altcoins. And the success of Ethereum ultimately leads to the success of the altcoins of a lot of other cryptos. So I definitely think it's a good indication, and I think it's especially a good indication to some of these ETFs that we know are pending approval from the SEC. So Solana ETF, XRP ETF. There's been a few more that were added to the SEC's desk over the last few weeks. So I think it's a great indication that investors are super open-minded to crypto in general and not just Bitcoin. And we should be anticipating, a good level of adoption towards any new ETF that gets approved. And we've got some important dates coming here in the last couple of months for Solana and XRP. And I think those can be very successful once they're live.
Well, Johnny Crypto got famous for saying it, and I'll repeat it one more time. You never eat a cannoli in one bite. And what we're seeing right now with the crypto market, don't make me break character here, Mario. We're almost to the end of the program. What I was going to say is when it comes to the crypto market, you're never going to accomplish all your goals in one bull market. You got to have a long-term time frame. Think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even 10 years ahead. If you're able to do that and you have the patience to do that, the evidence says you're going to be massively successful. And here's the piece we'll close it out on. 10 years ago today, Bitcoin was $265. Now, on this bearish pullback, $112,000. We're looking at a market today, Ethereum's $4,500. We're looking at XRP, it's $3. Who's to say 10 years from now, Ethereum's not $200,000 and XRP isn't well over 3, maybe even close to 4 digits. Depends on who you ask, guys. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to merlincrypto.com. Try out your 30-day application absolutely free. Mario, any closing comment for today?
Yes. If you're a crypto investor, if you're investing in crypto, you need Merlin. So head over to merlincrypto.com. Get your first 30 days free while you're in the trial. So yes, before you even pay Merlin and the company for anything, hit that live chat icon down here, and you can reach out to our support team. I am part of our support team. I can tell you, there's been so many times where I get on calls with people and they recognize me because they're daily listeners of Good Morning Crypto. And they're like, I can't believe I've got a Good Morning Crypto guy talking to me, helping me with Merlin right now. So, we're going to get to have a nice experience. You're going to get to have a nice experience because you're going to get to talk with humans. Again, you can even have the opportunity to talk to me. But the most important thing, Abs, is that before you even start paying Merlin, you can access this. We don't limit this. We don't unlock something once you pay. You get everything right up front. We give you everything for free for 30 days. And it's up to you to make the most of it. And I highly encourage you that if you have any trouble, we make it super simple. We have a get started section as well inside of Merlin, but reach out to our team. We got this section right here that you can watch some videos and get some instructions on how to do things, connect, exchange and stuff. We even got the man, the myth, the legend, Johnny Crypto, showing you how you can craft your very own exit strategy in this video. But jokes aside, our Merlin team is there to help you. And all you got to do is click this chat button, initiate a message. And then if we need to, we'll jump on a screen sharing call with you and handhold you as you set up Merlin to be, the tool that it is and that you're prepared in this market. So head over to merlincrypto.com, get your first 30 days free and begin tracking crypto the smart way, or I guess the smartest way to track your crypto.
Massive thank you, guys. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you to anybody who throw any questions or comments in the chat. Now, we're going to wrap it up for today, guys, because that's a long one, my friends, and we are already past the 30-minute mark. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you all in the next one. Thank you, Mario. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining us.